most folks don't fight this until it happens to them or somebody they love or somebody they care about. Before, nobody cares. When it happens to me or my family, then I care. If the horse is already out of the barnyard, then it's been out of the barnyard. Some of the churches and some of the people in the Catholic Church, what has been going on and what's going on with the priests and all this, it's no different from myself out here. In St. Tammany Parish, it's called the diversionary program.
All the money that's being made.
Well, not only that, but the point that you made, here's this guy that had a sexual charge, and he was offered diversionary. That's never offered. But because his father was a big-time donor to the DA's coffers, he never went to jail. That's what Martin is talking about. You know, we had two representatives that had fistfights in the newspaper. But it was just good old boys blowing off some steam. Now, had that been two other people of color, and you know, I don't want to sound racist or anything, but we may not have had, it wouldn't have just been that.
Another thing too is that we need to start challenging all aspects of sexual violence. We have a representative who has twice now said offensive sexual jokes or things like on the legislative floor. It doesn't start out with people raping. It starts out with jokes. It starts out with that I'm entitled to whatever, and then, you know, people joke. It's a joke, but then certain behaviors escalate, right? They joke. I also witnessed the same representative on the floor. You know the little page people that go around, they're young? I saw him like looking up and down what was probably a 16-year-old girl. There was another representative, I'll say her name, Katrina Jackson. I talked to her about it. I said, I saw him do that. And I was like, thank you for calling him out, but still, everyone thinks it's like a joke. No, he was eyeing this kid up and down. But he's a white legislator, and he also is in a position of power, and it's just a joke when he does it.
Well,
that's not okay. If you did it, there would be issues, right?
I remember in, I think it was like 2004, I think. I remember sitting down in my living room watching television, and I was watching the news, and it had this big sting that was going on with, you know, we had this Madam House right on Canal Street.
Yeah.
And this lady had, you know, this lady had like a book.
Yeah, the black book.
A book, you know, and she had like nothing but representatives, and he was spending like thousands and thousands of dollars. And I just was looking. And the first person who I saw, I think he's a representative, Vitter.
Yeah, he's the one who ran
Vitter.
Yeah.
And that what really made me really start getting into the law. I know I was convicted of the crime against nature statute, but I just never really paid attention to it. And I read this law, and I read this law, and I read this law, and I read this law. And I feel that people who have position, like these legislators, right? They have this thing that they're out from anything, that any law that they make. And when I turned around and I looked at my best friend, and I was like, well, how he is not being charged of crime against nature by solicitation, and they had proof, right, that he dispersed thousands and thousands of dollars, right? You know, and me, I feel like the victim, right? Like, I feel like I didn't do nothing wrong. You know, this man came to me. You know, this officer came, this undercover officer came to me. This undercover officer propositioned me, right? And he's just living his life successfully. He got a nice career, and he's just doing all these things. And me, myself, I'm the one that's been, I have to, even though I'm not on the registry anymore, but I still have to, I'm still dealing with this law itself, right? This crime against nature by solicitation. And every time I see him on television, every time I see him on television, I'm like, how is this possible? Like, how is this possible? You know, like, how is this, I just cannot, I just can't get it. Like, how is this possible? Like, and I'm not trying to discredit him, or I'm not trying to condemn him, or I'm not trying to talk bad about him. I'm not, and I'm not. But it kind of puzzled me, and it was like, I was like, wow, I just feel like that law itself, that crime against nature by solicitation, even though that law, it was more of, and no offense to anyone, it was more like, just say, to people who are not a part of legislature, it was more like this little weak little law, but this weak little law carries so much weight, right? And I think that weight comes from homosexuality. That's the part that, maybe because he didn't practice, right, this act, or maybe because it's not abnormal.
It's not abnormal for him to do it because he's weird.
Right.
It's abnormal for someone below him can do it and be charged.
Right.